Hello everybody, before we start this video, I just wanted to remind y'all to keep y'all's eyes open for the updates on this free giveaway for a $50 Google Play card or a $50 App Store or iTunes gift card. It will be your choice if you are the winner, and just make sure that if you want to participate, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel, and make sure that your public subscription settings are on so I can view who is subscribed to me, so I can select a winner fairly. And anyways, enjoy the video. Hello everybody, welcome back. So today I'm going to be giving you a quick tutorial on how you can emulate games or otherwise run retro games or any sort of game that you want that you cannot normally run on the computer. Offline, it's completely free. The steps are very easy and simple to follow. Now, I'm going to be running this on Windows today. You can also do these steps on the iOS, Android, or Mac OS, or any sort of other operating system that you'd like. So today I'm just going to give you a heads up that I'm going to be running this on Windows only, Windows 10 to be specific. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, so first starting off with the NES, like in previous videos I have done, I already have the emulator installed as well as the game I'm going to run. I already have the NES emulator. The best emulator that I found so far is this one, which I sadly do not know how to pronounce. And notice this little notepad I have open too, which shows emulators to run, which shows all the different emulators that I recommend personally that you might want to run. I'll leave a link in the description for all of them, so just keep an eye on that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so after you have downloaded your emulator and ROM, which is the game that you'd like to run from online, it's most likely going to be in the form of a zip file. So I'm going to go ahead and find it right here. I already have the emulator. I don't know how to pronounce it. And I have the game that I'd like to run, which I have extracted already. After you extract the zip files, you're going to go ahead and click Open ROM, with this one at least. And then you're going to have the destination to which, the ROMs are located. And so here I have The Legend of Zelda, which I ran in my previous video, and Super Mario Bros. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select this, and bam, now it's emulating the game. Simple as that. However, there are a couple complicated steps in the other emulations later on that I'm going to have to get into. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of it just to show you the effectiveness of it, and why I love it so much. Okay, so you can customize your input keys. So for whatever is easiest for you, at least. So it runs just like the game you know and love on the NES console itself, and it has every bit of code that the game does as well. So it's completely identical. That's how ROMs work. It's just a completely identical version to the game in the ROM console. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and get into SNES. Now I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, also known as the SNES. And I have the notepad here available to show you which ones I personally recommend. Here for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, I have the SNES 9X. Now, from personal experience, I have to say that this one is very, very good. It's very well made, very well crafted, and it runs the games that you want with very little problems, very good ease. So now I have a new folder. I'm going to go ahead and name it SNES 9X. Oops, my bad. Okay, so now I have a folder here. It says new folder for right now. So I have to name that SNES 9X. Okay, that's the new folder. Now, here, I already have it downloaded onto my computer. I will, like I said, leave a link in the description for the correct emulator and the safe website from which you can download it on. I'm going to go ahead and click this, and from here you have it all in the zip file. Now, this I do not recommend playing it from the zip file, otherwise you could run into some issues later on. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click, and it has a little drop-down menu. I'm going to click Extract All, and now I'm going to click that file for the destination for the game that I want to be in. So now, go ahead and click Select Folder, and Extract. So now all the files from that zip file are extracted into the folder I created. So now we got the SNES 9X file, and from here, you can see that the application is currently existing here. Now I'm going to go ahead and click it. Now I have Super Mario that I can run on here as well. And the ROM files are most likely going to be in the form of a zip file as well. This one for Super Mario 64 was not in the Super Mario 64 DS actually was not in the form of a zip. It's the form of 7-zip, which is a different application I'll get into later. So I'm gonna go ahead and click this. And nah, never mind. We're not gonna do that. Okay, so my bad. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did for the SNES 9X. I'm gonna go ahead and locate the folder. Select folder. Now, I'd recommend putting the game in a separate folder than the emulator itself, so it's easier to navigate. But I just did this to save time and space. So I'm going to click extract. Now it exists in here as well. You see it has Super Mario World, SMC. Go ahead and click out of this. And now I can go ahead and open the application, which I'm going to go ahead and maximize. And load the game. You'll see here it says load game. You click that. And like the same thing for the first NES emulator that I found, which I could not pronounce. I'm going to go ahead and click the same folder that I did, the ROM destination, which actually holds all the ROM files. And I'm going to click this. Or I could move it in here, which I probably should have done in the first place, my bad. Okay, so here we go. Now we have Super Mario World that's up and running, which is probably my favorite game on the SNES. It's so simple, it's so fun, I've always had so much fun with it. I played it as a kid growing up, and I just recommend it for anyone who's a big Mario fan. Which I'm sure if you're a Mario fan, you've probably already heard or played it before. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it, just to show you the functionality of it. Okay, one-player game. Now you can customize your hotkeys just like you can for the first simulator that I showed you. Alright. Now I have to wait for this to load. My bad. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and click out of that. Okay, so now let's get on to the Nintendo 64, shall we? Now, that was my bad. I already had the 1964 emulator set up, ready to use, so I'm going to go ahead and show you just what you should do. So it does come in the form of an extract, so just follow the same SNES 9X step I showed you, and extract it into this folder. And so after you do that, you will be left with this folder, and I'm going to rename it to 1964. Okay, so now I'm going to double click it, and surely enough, after you navigate through here, you'll find it. Now, you're going to want to go ahead and navigate. Just watch what I do. Double click this, click bin, release, and here you should find 1964. Everything worked out just fine. And I want to go ahead and zoom this out, and I think this is Super Mario Chaos Edition that I'm about to run. Let's just go ahead and find it out. Okay.
It's me,
I'm sure
Mario!
it is. I'm positive that this is Super Mario 64 Chaos Edition.
Hello!
Make a corrupted Mario cameo in this while we're at it. Oh yeah, sure enough, it is the Super Mario 64 Chaos Edition. So that's not what I wanted to show you. Oops, go ahead and click out of that. And here I'm going to go ahead and extract Super Mario 64, just the original, the original unaffected game. So I'm going to go ahead and browse and find, oh, 1964 right here. Extract all. Okay, sure enough, it's right here. So, like I said for the last simulator, the SNES 9X, I would recommend setting up your own ROM folder so you don't have to navigate through your own emulator folder, which is a big old mess that I'll get into later on. So, go ahead and open up this, and we're going to find this. And I'm not going to do this. I'm going to actually not be lazy and find the right one. So, 64. And I'm going to find this file, the ROM file that was already in there, except it's not going to be called ROM. It's going to be, the file type won't be ROM, it will be Z64, but the basis for these game files are called ROMs, so that's why you have these here. Go ahead and open it, and surely enough, it should be running the actual Super Mario 64
me, Mario!
normal base game. See, let's see.
Hello!
Okay, so, yeah, I have the cheats enabled for this, so that's why it shows the A slot having 175 stars. So what's cool about this emulator is that you can actually have pre-made cheats for Super Mario 64, which I think is really cool. I've used it in the past. I've been using it in my Chaos Edition videos to make myself invincible so I don't end up losing health rapidly, which is a thing that you can experience in the game. You'll just randomly run out of health as if you were drowning. I don't really understand it. So here you have a couple pre-made cheats, and I have these two red ones enabled. If it's enabled, it would be red, just so it can show you. And now you can go through here and click Add, Modify, or Select. Select is how you enable the mod or the cheat. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and move right on to the Game Boy Advance. Now, just like the previous emulators that I have shown you, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this list of emulators that I personally recommend. Here you got, for the Game Boy Advance, I would recommend Visual Boy Advance because I honestly believe that it works very well. I've used it in the past for several games that I used to play on the Game Boy, which is one of my first consoles, actually. Not a console, a handheld device. It was one of my first handheld devices that I've ever had. I loved using it. I played it all the time. I would play that game more than anything. Well, the handheld device itself. I had a very specific game on it. It was the Namco Museum. Yeah, Namco. I really don't know how to pronounce it. My bad. So now, like the other steps, you're gonna want to go ahead and right-click this, extract all, and I have a file set up for this exact extraction called Visual Boy Advance. Select the folder, extract. Okay, so once it's done, I can go ahead and open the Visual Boy Advance. All right, let's wait for it to load. Now, I have done test runs on all these just to make sure that it's working perfectly fine, and they all have worked just fine. So, actually, excellently. They work excellently. So, for this, I do have a game that I want to go ahead and show you. I'm going to extract it as well to the same file. You find it? Yes, perfect. Now, extract. And so here you can find the game. It's located in the actual file itself, the Visual Boy Advanced file, that is. So we're going to go ahead and open this back up. Click File, Open. And also, what's cool about this is I can actually open it in the different kinds of Game Boy. Regular, classic Game Boy Color, and you can also do it in the actual Game Boy Advance itself. So it's kind of a 3-in-1 if you think about it. So I'm going to click this. And I made sure these games were compatible with it too. See, now you got this game that you can go ahead and run on as well. Oh, okay, so what's funky about this is, yes, you can set up your own hotkeys as well, your own keys, to make the game controls work itself. If you hold down space, by default, it will skip frames. Like I'm doing, it speeds it up. Click single player. And here you can, it's just like the game itself. It's perfectly identical, there's no difference. At least, I don't know, I know that some games have later editions or different things added now. This looks like the N64. Okay, let's exit out of that. And let's move on to the final one, last but not least, the Nintendo DS, which I have used very much in the past. It was my main primary handheld device that I used as a kid growing up, so I will be most familiar with this one. Okay, so last but not least, I have the DS, or the D-Smoomy. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's just a really weird name. It's creative. I got to give it that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the list. And this right here is the most recommended emulator that you could possibly use to run DS games. Now, here I got Super Mario 64 DS because that was my all-time favorite game on the DS. I played the hell out of that thing, not going to lie. So here, just like the other steps, I have it in a zip format. So I'm going to go ahead and click Extract All. And you can navigate to Desktop. And one second. Okay, there we go. Found it. I'm going to extract it to this folder. And now, see, you have it here. It should work perfectly fine. Okay, so it does. It has all the options that are in the base emulator itself, which I have used this several times in the past to emulate games. But back whenever I first discovered it, I used to have an HP Windows laptop, and it did not work very well at all. It wouldn't run the games well at all, and the frame rate was very, very, very slow. It was very low. The frame rate was maybe about 10 frames per second, which is terrible if you know anything about frames per second, or, you know, recording speed. So let me go ahead and stop talking and find where the game is itself. Super Mario 64. Where the hell is? Okay, here it is. Sorry, I had a couple issues doing that. Okay, so like I said, like I had mentioned earlier, I've already extracted it, but it was in the file format of 7Z. So There we go. It is. I have the demo version of Express Zip, which I do not recommend downloading it in the 7Z format because it's just a pain. I do not recommend it at all. I will continue using the demo version, and I'm going to extract all. There we go. I had a little bit of trouble finding that. Okay. Oh, okay. It opened. Okay. All right. Never mind. Sorry. I have to change this. Back to desktop, and find it wherever. Okay. Here we go. Extract here. There we go. All right. It's extracting everything. All right. So I'm gonna click OK, and we're gonna exit out of this useless program. I'm gonna move it up here because it's a shame. I hate it. So now we can open up this. Click it, and I'm gonna maximize it, just like I've done in the past. Okay, so the actual screen format itself is already customized it's already written in the programming to be exactly like the DS screen size. So yeah, it will show double screens, one on top and one on bottom. So let's go ahead and open up a file like in the past. Also, what I found was pretty cool about this is that you can actually mute it with the shut up option. It mutes it. Like, it's not gonna be called mute, it's gonna be called shut up, which I think is just really funny. So I'm gonna go ahead and navigate to this folder and run this, and hopefully it works. I haven't tested this one. Okay, so yes, it seems to be working so far, and clicking will actually cause a touch interaction to occur.
It's me, Mario.
Awesome. Okay, so this was why I loved it so much. It was just so cool compared to the N64 version. So you can go ahead. So like I said, you can navigate it using the mouse. So that's why it's creative. So it detects touch input. You're clicking. So I'm gonna go ahead and mess with this, and you can actually, you know, if you played this game before, you know that you can also switch to Yoshi, and you can actually draw with this, which I think is awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of this. So you can actually mess with, you can't mess with the wrist. You can only draw. So actually drawing on the screen was in the touch interface was actually one of the most important parts of the actual game itself. So the adventure will take you to the game itself, and maybe I should actually do a let's play of this. I would love to. I would love to see if I can actually correct something. But we're not gonna have time for that right now. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it easy and simple. If not, leave a comment, and I will respond as quickly as possible, and I will make some changes. So anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all have a great day, and make sure y'all stay tuned for the giveaway. I will be giving out updates per video on that, and thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next